In the beginning, before empires traded in gold, before ships crossed oceans in search of spice, there were plants quiet, unassuming, yet powerful enough to awaken minds and unite communities. In the highlands of Ethiopia and the forests of Nigeria, two natural forces emerged. One would fuel the world, the other would bind societies together. This is the story of coffee and the cola nut. The story begins with a legend, one that echoes through generations. A young goat herder named Kaldi noticed something strange. His goats were unusually energetic, almost dancing, after eating bright red berries. Curious, Kaldi tasted them himself. What followed was a spark, an awakening. These berries came from the forests of Kaffa, a land whose very name may have inspired the word coffee. At first, some rejected the berries, until roasting revealed their true power. What began as curiosity became ritual. Coffee's journey did not stop in Ethiopia. It crossed the Red Sea into Yemen, where it found purpose among Sufi mystics. They drank it to stay awake during long nights of prayer, transforming coffee into a spiritual ally. By the 15th century, coffee had reached sacred and scholarly cities like Mecca and Cairo. Here, something revolutionary happened. Coffee houses were born. Coffee houses, the first social networks. These spaces became more than places to drink, they became centers of thought. Men gathered to debate politics, share news, play chess, and challenge ideas. Authorities grew uneasy. In some regions, coffee was even feared for its ability to inspire independent thinking. Yet the idea had already spread. By the 17th century, coffee had entered Europe. In cities like London and Paris, coffee houses became known as penny universities. Places where, for the price of a cup, one could gain knowledge and engage in intellectual exchange. Coffee fueled the Age of Enlightenment, a period that reshaped science, philosophy, and politics. Soon, coffee plantations spread across colonies in the Americas and Asia. But this expansion came at a cost. Behind every cup of coffee was labor often forced, often invisible. Colonial systems turned coffee into a global commodity, but stripped control from the very lands where it originated. African farmers, once stewards of the crop, were pushed into exploitative systems. The story of coffee is not just one of energy and innovation. It is also one of inequality and resilience. While coffee traveled the world, another plant remained deeply rooted in African life, the cola nut. Found in the rainforests of West Africa, especially in Ghana, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone, the cola nut carried a different kind of power. Not just physical energy, but cultural meaning. Among the Igbo people, the cola nut is sacred. It is presented at weddings, funerals, negotiations, and gatherings. Breaking the cola nut is not a casual act, it is ceremonial. He who brings cola brings life. Each piece carries symbolism, unity, trust, respect. To refuse cola is to reject connection. Both coffee and cola nut share a common element: caffeine, a natural stimulant that increases alertness, reduces fatigue, and enhances focus. But their delivery differs. Coffee, brewed, aromatic, globally consumed. Cola nut, chewed, bitter, deeply traditional. Interestingly, the cola nut played a role in one of the world's most famous beverages, Coca-Cola. Originally, cola extract contributed to its flavor and identity. Coffee became globalized, industrialized, commercialized, exported. The cola nut remained localized, symbolic, ceremonial, preserved. Yet both originated from African soil. Both shaped economies. Both influenced human behavior. Today, both crops face uncertain futures. Climate change threatens coffee-growing regions, especially in Ethiopia and Kenya. Rising temperatures and unpredictable rainfall reduce yields. Meanwhile, the cultural significance of the cola nut is challenged by modernization and shifting lifestyles. Younger generations are drifting away from tradition. Across Africa, a movement is growing. Farmers, historians, and cultural leaders are reclaiming these stories. They are reminding the world that coffee did not begin in Europe, and that the cola nut is not just a relic of the past. It is a living tradition. One is poured into cups across continents. The other is shared hand to hand in sacred spaces. One fuels productivity, the other preserves identity. Yet both remind us of something deeper, that Africa's greatest contributions are not just resources, but relationships. Not just commodities, but culture. Every sip of coffee, every piece of cola nut carries a story. The question is, are we listening?